did use this moment to really tout his big, beautiful bill that was passed just hours ago, and that really energized the crowd because he explained what this bill will do to regular Americans, to Iowans in this crowd. He explained how it would affect farmers and agriculture in our state. We are really starting to see just the extent of this damage. We have a family right behind me who is currently just rummaging through what used to be their home. Street light right behind me just completely snapped in half. It's just incredible what these powerful winds did here in Greenfield. We had no action in that chamber since about 3:20 this morning, but I have my photographer Dylan up with a live stream right now, and it looks like they are starting debate on the floor once again. Power in the Des Moines area should be restored by 7 o'clock tonight. He says if you have lost power, make sure to let them know, but chances are they already are aware of that outage. He could face up to 20 years in prison. Now, he will be sentenced as a youthful offender. What that means is he won't be sentenced formally until he's 18 years old. We could see the cloud of smoke coming from the highway from our station in downtown. How big of a response is this here tonight?
There's at least 4, possibly 5 fire departments that responded.
Now, inside of that full committee hearing, what we heard from Democrats is that they say this bill is not necessary. They'd rather Republicans focus on other issues like cost of living, health care, and education. It's really hard to see that ice on the roads, not only because it's dark, but also because it just looks like it's a wet spot, and then it turns out to be super icy and dangerous to drive on. I want to give you a look from our cameras. When you do get here, make sure to pick up your t-shirt, these beautiful Grand Blue Mile shirts, and also your packet pickup. You can see some people are already doing that here to pick up their bibs. If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan in Des Moines, this is really the place to be here tonight. Take a look inside. This place is just packed. It will be the ride's 50th year here at the Iowa State Fair, and in just 1 week, all of these chairs will be filled. We do know that lawmakers have said that lowering property taxes is something that is top of mind for them. Specifically, Republicans have spent a lot of time talking about that, so we'll see if that aligns with what the governor wants to do this session. We know that one man is currently being treated at Unity Point Iowa Methodist Medical Center for those critical injuries. I want to take you down here. You can just see how many people are lined up for this hearing today. Again, this is a bill that would remove gender identity from the Iowa Civil Rights Act. Blown out windows and blinds and a blanket of insulation cover the front lawn of this home on Sampson Street on the north side of Des Moines. All aftermath.
Yeah, it's pretty darn scary for sure.
Of a house explosion Monday afternoon.
I was sitting on my couch and I heard a boom and my whole house shook.
Neighbors say they then heard a woman scream and watched as she staggered out of her home, made her way across the street and collapsed onto this grass. That's when they called 911.
She looked like she was severely burned.
It was shortly before 3 o'clock we were dispatched to a structure fire.
Lieutenant Gene Emery says that call was quickly upgraded to a house explosion. When crews arrived, they found a woman in critical condition.
It's kind of amazing that she wasn't assisted on her way out of the house, if you know what I mean. Actually have the explosion carry her out. She was actually able to walk out on her own power.
Emery says she'll be life-flighted to Iowa City for treatment at the University of Iowa Hospital's burn unit. He says she was the only person inside.
There was one dog that came out ahead of her. The original report is that there was 2. There's several kennels in there. We've not located a second one.
Officials shut off natural gas and electric utilities to the home. Power was out for the street for several hours while Mid-American Energy crews were on site.
They're looking for the other lines that are in the neighborhood to just service the other houses. They want to make sure that there's not any kind of a leak or a breach or anything with that.
The whole street is still trying to piece together what happened.
I couldn't imagine. I'm praying that woman is okay.
In Des Moines, Ophelie Jacobson, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader. Varsity Cinema is just one of several organizations across the entire country that received an email on Friday from the Trump administration letting them know that their grant from the National Endowment for the Arts will be terminated come May 31st. And while that loss won't completely close their doors, according to the executive director here, he says that they'd still need help from the community to make up for that loss. You know it's almost showtime. When fresh popcorn is popping, the projector turns on, and the lights turn off.
We've been open now since 2022.
Varsity Cinema is run by nonprofit Des Moines Film. Executive Director Ben Godar
Business has been very good.
says 2/3 of their funding comes from sales. The other third comes from things like membership, grants, and donations, including one from the National Endowment for the Arts, or NEA.
Our NEA funding was in the amount of $20,000, and that represents about 2% of our annual budget.
But on Friday, Godar found out that grant is being terminated. In an email sent to Godar from the federal government obtained by KCCI, it says the theater's grant project does not align with the priorities of the president. The email goes on to say funding will be reallocated to support new projects, like elevating the nation's HBCUs and Hispanic-serving institutions and celebrating the 250th anniversary of American independence, to name a few.
It definitely feels a little bit like you're having the rug pulled out from under you to receive notification that says, this award that you have already received is being terminated.
This was the second fiscal year Varsity Cinema received the grant, and they were anticipating future support too.
This grant supported a lot of our community partnership screenings that we do. So oftentimes that's partnering with a local nonprofit or some other kind of organization.
Godar says they could have to cut back on that programming if they can't make up the money elsewhere. That's why he's turning to the community with a simple ask.
Would you step forward and make a donation to help us make that up?
In a fundraiser organized by Des Moines Film, that nonprofit has raised more than $10,000 of the $20,000 goal already. A link to that fundraiser can be found on our website, kcci.com. I did reach out to the White House today for comment, but have not heard back. Live in the Drake neighborhood, Ophelie Jacobson, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader. This is not a new piece of legislation. This bill passed the Iowa Senate in 2024, but it did not become law. Opponents at a rally here at the State House Monday hope the bill will die again this year. With flowers in hand and posters held high,
I sing for all creation, for life and liberation.
Iowans are making their voices heard under the Golden Domes Monday, rallying
and future generation
in opposition to a bill that would shield pesticide companies from lawsuits.
So let's let our voices be heard. Thank you.
If the bill becomes law, Iowans wouldn't be able to sue those companies over failure to warn of potential health risks like cancer, as long as the crop protection chemicals have the correct warning labels.
And I really think people should have the right to hold them accountable.
Rich Gradeville was diagnosed with bladder cancer 2 years ago.
I'm not certain of the cause of my cancer.
He's cancer-free now and is sharing his story to lobby against the bill.
What our legislators should be doing is working on bills that lower the risks for Iowans rather than trying to help the chemical companies.
Slowing down.
Over in Dallas County.
So you support this bill?
Yes, I do.
Passed.
Yes, I do.
Maury Hill says the bill is common sense. The longtime farmer fears the pesticides he relies on could be in jeopardy.
My concern is that the manufacturers of crop protection chemicals will cease making it because of the liability.
He says the bill won't give pesticide companies full immunity from lawsuits.
It just protects them from legality, that they can't put a label on there that EPA doesn't require.
Other farmers
That's not right.
disagree, joining rally goers at the State House and calling the bill the Cancer Gag Act.
I don't have a problem with the pesticides. I have a problem with trying to take the rights away from Iowans.
And there are still several steps before this bill can become law. It only passed out of its Senate subcommittee last week. At the State House, Ophelie Jacobson, KCCI 8 News. A lot of waiting goes on at airports. Waiting for a flight to land for loved ones to return home.
It's going to be an incredible weekend.
Barbara and Larry Walters have been waiting for flight number 2229.
It's been 80 years in the making.
For a really long time. The couple from Idaho is waiting for a man neither of them have ever met.
He went down in 1945. I was born in 1954.
Corporal Melvin Huff, Larry's uncle.
He would have accomplished great things. He was taken far too young.
The Iowa Falls native was just 19 when the Army lost contact with his plane in Papua New Guinea in 1945. The wreckage wasn't discovered until 2011, and Huff's remains weren't confirmed until last year.
We're one of the lucky families to have the recovery of his remains and know what happened to him.
Thursday, his remains are returning to Iowa, with his family anxiously waiting on the tarmac, ready to welcome him home.
I never knew him, but I've tended to get a little more emotional as I think about it.
Once the plane touches down here at the airport, Huff's remains will be taken home to Iowa Falls, traveling north on Highway 65. Leading that motorcade is the Patriot Guard Riders.
We will escort this gentleman, Mr. Huff, all the way to Iowa Falls.
Dozens of people who may not know Huff, but know the sacrifice he made.
Every person that's here is here to honor that gentleman for his service to his country.
And understand why it's important to honor him in this way.
It really means a lot to show that kind of respect for somebody that they never knew.
The Walters say they're thankful the wait is over.
Well, and so many things had to fall in place for it to happen.
And their hero is finally home. In Des Moines, Ophelie Jacobson, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.